And have we witnessed or someone who attempted suicide? Sindio? And most of the time, people who are maybe in casualty, people who are in the wards, we have seen people who have attempted suicide. So for those we see, they have attempted. But unfortunately, there are those we are not able to see because they already died by suicide. And most of the time, we like saying that we should not blame the people who attempt suicide. And I know most of the time we tend to think that maybe they are weak, maybe they, and because I'm drinking and fire. But most of the time when you have a session with these people, they tell you that that was the only solution. But like Lynette has said, we are creating awareness to ensure that we are brothers and sisters so that we can be able to create a safe environment where when someone tells you that I feel that it's so tight, life is so tight for me, and I think I'm having those thoughts. And we're not going to blame them and we're not going to stigmatize them. Because for them at that particular time, it is the solution. But we try to let them know that we should not take that solution because that is a permanent solution for a temporary problem. Because the issues we are going through are just temporary. So most of the time, the World Health Organization, the theme of this year is changing the narrative to suicide. And it is a triennial theme. It started from last year. This year we are still creating the same, and even next year, changing the narrative. When we are changing the narrative, we are trying to create awareness that we are going to normalize having these discussions. That we are going to normalize that when I come and tell maybe the net today, there is a thought that is creeping my mind, and we can have this discussion with a safe space. So how do we know that someone maybe is thinking of that? Most of the time, even the discussions we're having, sometimes you talk to someone and they tell you they feel like there's no light. Hakuna mwangaza, kila kitu ninaona ni giza. Na kuna wakati tunafika mahali kama hapo, sijui ni wangapi wanaweza sema usiinue mkono. Venye mna smile, najua kuna wazo kama hilo limeingia kwa mawazo yetu. Most of the time it is how we are talking. Sometimes even when you look at their browser, tunashare most of the time the desktops. Sindio? You check their browsing history and you'll find that people have been browsing about maybe ways to die, what can I take that I complete, not a part of those behaviors. There are people who, they are usually jovial and have done a job mapema, but all of a sudden they have just withdrawn themselves. Do we have a chance to just ask our colleagues what is going through our minds? Let us be observant of some of these behaviors.
Awesome. And maybe just to inform us that the age group that is most susceptible of suicide is the age between 15 and 29. And I can see most of us are in that age group. And we say that most of the time, women commit suicide more, but men die by suicide more often. So we realize that women commit more, but men die by suicide. Why do you think men die by suicide more than women? Why, Philip?
I think when the men have some issues, they don't share much.
They don't share much?
Yes.
And most of the time we say it's because men use more lethal methods. So with those few remarks, like Lynette has said, we will create awareness more in our departments, and we are having a public webinar coming up. And I know when the corporate team shares the poster and the link, kindly join the webinar and also share around. So I would want to welcome the CMO to just say a few remarks and help us launch the banner.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I think this is a call for all of us to just ask one another, are you okay? How is that today? How can I help? And with that might just be the solution to that person who is having those deep thoughts. Who to them, the world has kind of ceased to make sense. So thank you, Margaret, for organizing this, and we, on behalf of management, we are open as the committee goes around. If there are things that are structural, strategic, that means management input for us to improve, or even to identify triggers that are work-based and triggers that we can create supportive mechanisms, please let us know, because that is the essence of why we are here. That is the essence of why we have a whole HR docket, to just make sure we are not just in work, but we're in a safe environment, and we are in a safe place where everyone can express themselves. The last couple of months, I'm sure we have heard of a story where someone did not show up at work for long, but because they did have close friends, their workmates didn't know where to look for them. So eventually they went to the HR and asked them, where is the next of kin's contract? And they called the next of kin and told them, so and so has not come to work for this number of weeks. And then even at home they said, oh, we thought they are at work, they're also not calling us, but there wasn't anyone they could call at work. At the end of the day is a caretaker in the estate, who apparently went to discover that this person had lost their lives. And even to the caretaker, the only checks and balances they had most of the time is whether the rent has been paid. and this person in proper financial planning and set a standing order, so every 5th of the month, the money will go. So the money went in, and they're like, if the money has come in, they must be alive. So that was really a sobering realization that at workplace sometimes it's good to pause and just ask, how close do I know my person? Where do they live? What are they going through? So that would be my challenge to us. It doesn't have to be to everyone, but it's that one person who is close to you that we can take this moment and this week as we reflect to just ask them, oh, okay, so where do you stay? And what is your mom's favorite pet? You know those funny questions that make people actually tell you more little about them, not about which school they went to. That is public knowledge, isn't it? Yeah, so thank you so much and all the best, team. And now, Maggie, you will lead us to unveiling the banner.
Maybe I welcome the HR also help us unveil the banner.
Yes, appropriately and appropriately.